pictures of people from Forged in Fire and other TV shows on our walls, as well as swords and axes and shields and awesomeness. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to have some cool stuff going on. Now, this is a shop live stream, so I'm going to try to answer questions as we go along. And I'm going to tell you about Forge of Memory. So Forge of Memory is a location that we've got here in St. Elmo, but it didn't start in St. Elmo. Forge of Memory started in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee at Iron Mountain Metalcraft, Robbie Bowman's shop. Now, you guys might remember Robbie from Forged in Fire, seasons 3 and 4, episodes 5. He's a Forged in Fire fan favorite, and he's an awesome dude. Now, we offer forging experiences. Now, we realize that you can't always come to one of these locations, but what you can do, if you come to one of the locations, or maybe you're not able to, you can go online and check out forgeofmemoryfamily.com. You can check that link in the description. There's also a link to Facebook to our Axon Main Forge of Memory page if you want to check that out. Now, I'm going to be working on a couple things, and these were experiments. This is some bloodwood that Cheyenne stabilized. Found out that that's a great way to turn your clear not clear. And here's some purple heartwood that was actually dyed purple to make it more purple. And I'm going to be doing some burn throughs on these for those blades and guards that you guys may have got to watch us make last night here on YouTube. So anytime we can get more subscribers, that's awesome. Cheyenne's working on, she's not here so I can show you, some little saw blade steel prototypes. These are actually going to be made in heavier stock soon. But working on a couple things that I think is cool. And what I did is I went ahead and I knocked these hot fit guards off. So what I'm going to have to do at some point is, one, clean the blades, grind them, probably do an acid etch or an acid wash on the guards to get some of that scale off, get everything neutralized, then that'll get fit up, and then the handle is going to get put on. And I'm most likely going to do, if you haven't figured it out by now, a poured pewter pommel. But I've got a ways to go before I get to that point. So while I'm getting towards that ultimate goal, if you will, I'm going to do a handle burn through. Now, why would I do a handle burn through? A lot of people say, hey, if you do that, it weakens your handle. Not so much. It really doesn't. Some people will tell you that your adhesive may not adhere as well. If you've got loose carbon in there, it won't, just like if you had sawdust or anything else. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys how to do a burn through. Now, you might have noticed on that handle material over there. There's Cheyenne. She made it in. She's been busy today. With the handle material, they're already drilled. So why not just sit there and file and file and file and rasp and fit it up? Because there is a faster, easier way, and done properly will work just fine. So guys, stick with me on this, and I'm going to start doing some burn through. Cheyenne, what are you working on here?
So I am going to be putting away all the handle material that is, or not handle material yet. It is
Handle material that you've stabilized, dyed and
Yes.
stabilized, and it's cured, correct?
Yes.
Let me turn this around for you. Okay.
So you guys have seen the process, where if you look back on the other videos, you've seen the process of me grinding them to where they're more squared. You've seen me polish them up, and you guys have been able to kind of be there with us whenever we're getting to the final stages of the handle material. This is kind of one of those in-between stages. So when the wood is stabilized, it's kind of in its ugly form right now. But this is what it looks like before I go to actually clean it up again, and then go ahead and put these in resin, and then turn them into the pretty blocks that you guys have been able to see and kind of be there in the process with us.
Locksman Singh, hello, how's it going? India must be a cool place. Matthew says Mexican Bowie knife, we may have some in the process. Now, Cheyenne is going to, you're going to be showing them the process. Now, you're going to kind of do this reverse, correct? You're going to go ahead and get this set up to do curing in here. and talk about the process on that. And now, Cheyenne, this video we are doing for Forge of Memory Family. We're promoting the website. It's a place people can go to learn how to do cool stuff like this.
Which I believe if you check in the description, you should be able to click on that and check it out.
And the Facebook profile, you can actually check out Axon Main Forge of Memory.
Which is actually our location here in St. Alma, Illinois.
And if you're interested, we always have people asking about, hey, where do you sell? Hey, get a hold of us on our Facebook and we can go from there, guys. So first thing, Cheyenne, I'm going to go ahead and slide this back and lower it down just a little bit.
Okay, I'm so excited about this, guys. This one is going to be really, really pretty.
Very cool. All right, so you want to go through the process on getting that set up, how you go about setting it up, sliding it out from the wall and everything.
This stuff I do need to go ahead and place up there before
Okay, that's fine.
I get this set up. So hold on one moment, guys. You're going to hear a lot of clatter. It's definitely not me dumping in the floor off camera so that I can put more in this video.
And that's why I have to sweep a lot in here.
Hey, you get handle material out.
There we go. Okay, so talk to the camera, let them know what's going on, all that fun stuff.
So, this is definitely not a smoker that you can use for me.
Well, tell them why you're using a smoker. And
The reason why I use a smoker, you do not want to use the oven that you cook in, and it's kind of recommended not to cure the material inside. There is a fire hazard. The reason why you do not cure it because cactus juice resin is heat cured over a period of time. It releases certain vapors that can kind of sit and kind of be in your oven when you use it. It is not safe to cook food in the same thing that you are curing your resin. So we actually posted on Facebook because I did not want to buy a brand new one, especially if I'm going to be using it for a reason that you're not going to be cooking with it. And a few of our very close friends got back a hold of us, and I actually have two of them. One of them I use for heating up the wood, kind of drying it out beforehand, and then this one I use for the curing. Doing it inside right now. My doors are going to be open, everything, fans are blowing it out anyways. Because it is actually storming and raining where we're at right now. And with electrical components, you definitely do not want to have that outside. If you want to keep your utilities and not cause any type of electrical hazards.
Conway, she might smack me. It's always a possibility. All right, so show them how you set this up. Well, using it's going to go the same way, just on whether you're using an oven or a whether you're using an oven, whether you're using a toaster oven, a smoker.
If you use a smoker, make sure it is an electric smoker, not a propane one. This one keeps everything at the same level. And it's a lot easier to be able to control your temperature to exactly what you are doing.
Cameron D says, pop that bra off. I've been trying to get her to all day, buddy. Probably not going to happen.
So we're going to set it to 220.
So what is, have you went over your ideal temperatures for curing?
Yes.
And what's the advantages of using smoker over the other items? Capacity, timer, anything like that?
This does have a timer, which is kind of convenient. And with using this, it's one of those that if I'm doing multiple batches or, well, however, multitasking, after this is set, I can actually unplug it after I turn it off, move it out of the way, and go ahead and let those rest, and they're still out of the way in a controlled area. I know nothing's going to happen. And I did already explain to them about the residue risk and everything else.
So do you have your other material ready? Is it wrapped? You're going to show how
I
to...
need to grab it.
You need, can you do that in here?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you need to set up a table?
I'm going to.
Let me get you a table.
Okay.
Talk to the camera.
Well, I need to grab my hand out. I like to use the cheap Dollar General bins, especially with racks in here. Just mainly if there is any dripping or not, because if you're inside, less chances of more vapors being expelled into the area. While I go grab my material.
All right. How much for the axe? Which one?
There's a lot.
Okay, Scary Spaghetti, those tomahawks back there, they range anywhere from $100 to $150. $100 to $150.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, I'm going to turn this around. She's got to get her material and get everything set up. I know what you guys are going, hey, Cheyenne looked a lot prettier than you did, and holy shit, you turned that around and that wasn't cool. The biggest one, $150 for one of the rasp tomahawks is what those generally sell for. So guys, I'm going to show you how, while Cheyenne's getting set up, I'm going to show you how to do a burn through. And if you're wanting to learn how to do this, do these different processes in a more detailed, more one-on-one fashion, check out the Forge of Memory family. The link is in the description, and there's a lot of cool classes that you can take online to learn how to make knives. I think Cheyenne's going to be doing one on stabilization and hybrid handle materials soon. So definitely something worth checking out. Now, what I'm using a burn through tool, which essentially is a faux tang. So it is not attached to a blade over there. It's attached to a piece of rebar, forged out from a section of rebar, and is a similar size to this particular piece. Now, it's definitely going to have to, this is either going to have to go on a diet, or I'm going to have to burn into it more. And maybe a combination of the two. Sometimes I have to make bigger burn through tools. That's coming along. I think it's a possibility I may have to do a burn through tool, which shouldn't take too long to make. But you can see what I'm doing here is it's actually burning that rectangular cross section into the area where there is already a hole. Now that's giving me an area to guide through so that I'm not overexposing the wood to too much heat. And what I'm going to do, one, you might think, hey, that's a lot of handle, that's going to get cut down, and then I'll have a piece of spacer material left over. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, I guess, show you guys how I'm going to forge a burn through tool, because that one right there is, I hate to say it, but it's too narrow for the blades I've got here. So I'm just going to go ahead and straighten this out, and we're going to have some fun with the forge, okay? Here's a piece of stainless steel that came into the shop. And I'm going to heat that up. We're going to forge it. A lot of stainless is not forgeable. This is forgeable, at least to a point. And I don't mean like to a point. It can be forged to a point, but forged one way or another. It'll hold up. Cheyenne says it's smoky in here. Probably. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to find my caliper. Which is right here. And metal calipers are nice to have, especially in the forge. If I need to do some measurements, this is a great thing to have. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to find the blade with the widest tang. Plenty of room there. Pretty damn close. And extra room. Not quite hot dog down the hallway, but you know where we're going with that. Plenty of room. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the power hammer, forge out a tang, so to speak, that will be of equivalent size so that I can use it for doing the burn through. Which is not a bad idea, being that I've got some swords over here. You guys may or may not have seen these in previous videos. Back the other night, we were doing the handle and the guard on that Talon style falchion right there. I've still got to do the pommel, still got to get everything going, but I'm looking forward to getting this cool piece done. While I'm working on it, I'm thinking on how I am going to modify that guard, and thinking about what kind of guard I'm going to make my little falchion companion knife. Orc and the orklet, whatever the hell little orc's called, I don't know. Alright guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great time to do so. And if you want to learn more about forging, about different crafting, you can check out forgeyourmemoryfamily.com, and that link is in the description. If you want to get a hold of us, the Facebook link is to our business page, Axon Main Forge Your Memory. Okay. Well, it looks to me like that might be up to temperature. Might be up to temperature. This might be ready to beat on some hot metal. So first thing I want to do, I'm just going to start forging a bar on the end here, and then I'll start adding, making sure I'm the right width and everything. Now once more, I've got my caliper here. I don't need it quite yet, but I am going to need it in the near future when I come over here and I start working that out. Now, I don't want that, I probably only want that maybe a 1/4 inch thick, and that's going to be pushing it, because keep in mind that it's not just a hot metal that's sliding through that handle, but that hot metal is burning an area around it. So if I do 1/4 inch, I mean, it could be a 3/8 inch thick, or 3/8 inch wide channel. And if I'm doing that, I got to make sure that I have all of that space backfilled with either pewter, epoxy, or making it fit up tight to the handle somehow, so that I don't have a catastrophic failure. still a bit wide. Okay, so wide is a little bit wide is not that big of a problem right now, because one thing I can do, I can go ahead and I can taper that down. And it may not be a bad idea because maybe I want to use it for something a little bit narrower. So I can hand forge it, I can use a power hammer, I can grind it. Damn power hammer, why wouldn't I use it, right? Okay, you want to see some other power hammer work? Be sure to check out Forge Memory Family. Link is in the description. You can check that out. And if you guys have never been to Robbie's shop in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, the Iron Mountain Metalcraft, you definitely need to check that out, guys. All right. Robbie's a great guy, and Robbie has taught a lot of people to make knives. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and taper that in. Now, once I get this done, we're going to turn around. Cheyenne is just about set up to show you guys how to do this. And I believe that she is also going to be doing an in-depth full process video for Forge Memory Family on dyeing and stabilizing different types of handle material and the processes that you go through on that. David Carpenter, yes sir, absolutely. Taper that down a little bit. So essentially what I'm going to do, I'm going to thin that out again, heat it up, and go right to the burn through. So that's a piece of stainless, non-hardening stainless that came into the shop. You'll be surprised some of the things that come into a blacksmith shop. Then I'm going to use that to do the burn through on some of these things. And while I'm doing that, Cheyenne is going to be showing, what's that? Cheyenne's going to be showing you how she preps her material to go into the smoker, not for smoking, it'll produce some, but to cure for a few hours. It just kind of depends upon thickness of the material, how much material, and all that fun stuff. I bet it is. It was a satisfying hobby, David Carpenter. I've been doing this full time for several years. It's a very satisfying job for me. Actually a career. Starting to hear some slap right there. Got to tighten that. Okay, so it's going to take a little extra time on this. I'm actually going to rotate this up. gauge my brake. When I start hearing that high-pitched slap, that metallic slap, I know that I've got to tighten that die. Now, a lot of people ask, hey man, did you make that hammer? No, I actually got this from another Forge and Memory location. And that is Iron Mountain Metalcraft in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee at 172 Old Mill Avenue. Robbie Bowman, and Robbie started Forge and Memory. He started the Forge and Memory family, and that's one thing we're promoting tonight is the Forge and Memory family website. You can check it out in the description, and be sure to comment. Oh man, don't be worried about it. It's I've had a lot of people tell me, oh man, it's gotta be a cool hobby. It's like, this is literally the only thing I do. This is how I buy my properties. This is how I pay my bills. This is how I go on business trips. It's a great thing. And as far as business trips, September 6th and 7th, Cheyenne and I will be with Robbie down at the Turtle Island Preserve. Eustace Conway's from Mountain Men on the History Channel. And we will be teaching knife making down there. Got to move my blades here that I had laid out because last night we did a video where I made the guards and fit them up, and I had them on the anvil here, and I didn't think I was going to have to use the anvil, and I was wrong. Now the nice thing about stainless is it's less likely to scale away. And to let you guys know why I really used stainless on that was because there's a bar of it laying over there. If you haven't subscribed, it's a great time to subscribe. If you haven't checked out Forge and Memory Family, you should definitely do that. All right, guys, I'm going to demonstrate this, and then we're going to go over to Cheyenne, where she is going to talk to you guys about how she makes her handle material. Okay, guys, I got to burn that in just a little bit more, but you see how much progress that makes in such a short amount of time. It's a wonderful thing. And I do this on a lot of my knives. I do this on majority of my knives that are wood handled, and I also do this on most of my swords that are wood handled. Now, as long as you don't affect the integrity of your handle, like leave it in too long and burn through, you're fine. One thing I will be doing on these, I'm actually creating a little more space because you need space for your adhesive or your filler to go into. Michael B says, good morning from Germany. How's it going? It is actually evening here in Central Illinois, but good morning. I always tell people that morning is any time of the day that you can go, why did I get out of bed? That is morning. Definitely good morning. I don't know, it's been a pretty good day. Guys, right there, it fits up. I've got plenty of room for that guard. I have plenty of room for my adhesive. We're good to go. Cheyenne, are you ready? Yes. Cheyenne says she is ready. So we're going to send you over to Cheyenne. And Cheyenne is going to talk to you guys about the different processes she goes through, talk about temperature, talk about the pressurizing process. But if you want to learn about this more, you can go to Forge Memory Family. This is an stabilization and dying and stabilizing and so forth is an upcoming build video. Here we go. Turn it around. Nima, hello from Iran. Hello. All right, Cheyenne.
All right.
It's on you.
Sounds good.
And I think this pretty well, this doesn't cover the smoker, but there shows a little bit with the smoker. All right.
Then I do, and also I'm kind of doing a cheat code. I'm watching the live on my phone so I can see the comments too. And no matter what, always wear protective gear, especially messing with this. You don't really want to get on your skin. If you do, it does wash away with soap and water, thankfully, unlike other resins. Hi, Sean. Wave and a hand.
Okay, so
First things first, I actually have two different colors. I'm going to do clear first. That shows natural grain of the material, but it does not add any extra color or anything like that. This is just straight clear. And these actually sometimes will be the prettiest ones of all because it shows what it naturally has. Allow all the excess resin or excess, however the heck you want to say it. Throughout my life in English at times is still hard. Wipe off all the excess that did not drip off. And natural graining. And this weighs 2 to 3 times as much as it did before even putting in it. It does look like I work in the bakery. I didn't even think about that because I have aluminum foil and cans, but sometimes tools in other professions can be utilized by us as well. I'm cheap. I have my food right here with the comments. The reason why I'm doing clear first is if I did by color before the clear, I can actually contaminate the resin and accidentally add dyes I don't want in the clear into it. Little layer of aluminum foil in between. Thank you, David. Jaber, Haber, I'm a woman, not a man. Been a woman all my life. Thank you, David. We have a lot of fun with it, both. So just make sure all your material is covered. That way there's no, if you have exposed burl blocks or any type of stabilized material and they're touching, it will actually solidify and connect both of them. And it's a bigger pain in the Michael. Anytime we get bored in the shop, I either wind up with more holes in my body or more tattoos. It's a fun pastime. the different colors actually pop even more. Now, if you are using a material that has a lot of tannins in it, it can leach into your clear. Which I'll show you guys that afterwards, because I did some landscape material that is in here, and it turned my clear resin not too clear anymore, but it still works. Some of these I get excited over because it starts to split, and then whenever it dries, I'm able to peel it apart, and you're able to see a little more of the green structure. We've done a few cover-ups. Red ring on it. And then whenever I stabilize these, or I guess I did stabilize them, cure them, and set them into resin, all of those little tails will pop even more. So this is now turning into stabilized, I believe this is walnut pearl. I haven't gotten into my baby pearl yet. Right now I'm doing the clear form. Doing a bunch of little pieces this batch because I'm doing a few more scale sets and smaller knife sets, knife handle sets. I've done bone, I've done antler, which turns out freaking pretty. Actually, one of my deer leg bone pieces, I put a copper blade into, and it turned out even better than I was expecting. One of my favorite things to work with is Damascus and copper, just because of the artistic values of it. Smelter on copper in a way to recycle, and then we turn it into a bar, so we're able to forge out bars, blades. I do a lot of roses and snake pendants and everything out of recycled material. You're making it really smoky in here.
Yes, I am. Like Willie Nelson's bedroom closet. I'm assuming.
Why would it be his bedroom closet?
I just assume that's where he smokes a lot of smokes.
He would probably do it straight in his bedroom. Hey, Dustin. Why don't you turn them around so they can see what you're doing?
What's up?
Why don't you turn them around for a minute so that they can see what you're doing?
Well, all right, so
Kind of a boring part of the process.
Scott B. No, they're not. I checked this morning. All right, so I'm actually on my block of wood here. We'll be going back to Cheyenne in just a moment. She just needs to do some prep on her work over there. And once more, I'm doing progressive burn through. I've got one blade left, and that is this this neat barriers rest knife right here. So what I'm doing, I am creating the initial rectangular or square channel with one burr tool, and then I will go through with the larger ones. It's a progressive method. All right, here we go. Get a lot of oil in that bloodwood. At least I know I do. Yeah. One or two more burns, and that's going to be seated. We'll be going back to Cheyenne in just a moment. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, it's a great opportunity to do so. Check out the links in the comment. Check out Forge and Memory Family. You can learn how to do a lot of different forging projects, amongst other things, on that particular website. And be sure to check out the Facebook profile. That'll take you to Axon Main Forge and Memory. All right, guys. I'm gonna let that cool for a moment and show you that that one did fit up pretty decent. In fact, that might be the first one that I finish out. It's a little tighter that way. And what I'll be doing, I'm actually going to take the guard, I'm going to do an acid wash on it to get a lot of that scale off and give it a nice gray patina. And I can show you what that patina looks like because I did a little bit of an experiment on it on one of our previous videos. And that's how I got that gunmetal color on the falchion, the Talon falchion, as I'm calling it. Absolutely. All right, so another greetings from Iran. How's it going? We're in Central Illinois, USA. So now I'm letting the forge cool down. I may do some pewter pours in a bit, but right now we're going to go ahead and go back to Cheyenne, and she's going to show you guys some of the processes on how she finishes up her handle material.
There's actually a piece in here
and
that you guys get to see that Dustin would like to see too.
Cool. So also going to let you know this, that it might be a little bit easier to hear now that the forge isn't running. So let's turn this around. And there's Cheyenne. All right.
That's your warm-up.
I'm going to zoom in. Okay, here we go. Cheyenne, do you want me zoomed in on the aluminum?
That is absolutely fine. I am going to have to change my
No, you're fine.
gloves real quick. They're leaking.
Oh, gloves are leaking, so apparently that's a factor.
It does.
All right, so let me take this out of here. I'm going to show you guys. Don't drop it in the cactus juice.
Yeah, don't drop that in the cactus juice.
So the cactus juice is, it's a very thin resin that is pressurized, and that's how you fill in all the voids in the wood or the bone or whatever material you're doing with that. David Carpenter, thank you. And we're hoping to final build on those before too long. So Cheyenne is going to work on continue here and had to change out her gloves. Sometimes cactus juice, acetone, different things like that will start to eat away at.
And I have to wear nitrile, just allergic to certain things. Dustin, this is your walnut, and it's actually got a really pretty.
So should I use the perchloride or should I use the phosphoric for the descaling and everything?
Use ferric, it's more aggressive.
Phosphoric gives an even finish.
Or not, ferric, the phosphoric gives an even finish, but it won't descale the way.
Well, I'm going to do the descale, most of it over here.
Okay, do the phosphoric then.
Okay.
And it is very, very red. Very red. So I am prepping items to be put into the smoker, which is what I'm utilizing as a heating element. I am dyeing and stabilizing walnut burl. Check that out, guys. Oh, dang, you guys can't really see that on the camera, can you? So, Chris, I actually do both. I will soak them in the vacuum chamber, allow all the air to be out of it, allow all the bubbles to disappear. Then I will soak them for 2 to 3 times as long as it takes for the bubbles to disappear. And so you guys can see that too. It's freaking pretty. With the burl, you're able to see different things compared to regular straight grain wood. Hard to work with, and then whenever I stabilize it, it makes it harder. But this way in a good way. Sorry, not good. That's the same for the previous comment. much any tabletop I work on, I'm going to make enough of it. What was hiding is right here. Sometimes you have to play with it a little bit because having it set for 220, you also have to take into consideration the outside temperature can kind of counteract with that. Sorry, that was freaky. Hey, cats are fun too. I just thought maybe you were talking about your cats hanging out outside. And once again, if you guys haven't liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do that. So what we're going to do now is allow that to sit in there for a couple hours. I'm going to check on it at least at the 2-hour mark. Check to see if it's solidified or if it's still liquid. We gotta wait until it gets hard. And now I'm going to turn it towards tester. You're on. You're more than welcome to use some of this material for that. It's able to be utilized for knife handles, jewelry, pistol grips, pretty much across the board. As long as it is stabilized, you're able to utilize the material for pretty much whatever you want. So what he's doing is removing as much scale as possible before he puts it into the acid to kind of give a little bit better finish that he's aiming for.
Okay, so what I've done, I've just run these to an 80 grit. I don't want to take this down all the way because it's a farrier's rasp knife, and I want people to know that it was made from a farrier's rasp. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put a surface conditioner. We call them Scotch Brites, but it's not a Scotch Brite brand. I'm going to put a surface conditioner on here and clean this up a bit more. And then I'm going to go to a 120, clean that up a bit more, maybe hit it with a surface conditioner. In the meantime, this will be etching in that phosphoric acid. Now, sometimes we use ferric chloride, sometimes we use phosphoric, and phosphoric's in for the win on this one. I just happen to like that gunmetal gray. It's a nice patina.
It complements the style very well that you're working towards.
If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, great time to do so. Also, check out the links in the description for Forge and Memory Family, and also for Axon Maine. That would be the Facebook link. Okay, right there. I'm just going to go ahead and this is going to go into the phosphoric acid. Let me turn this around. That's a Forge. Okay. So we're going to be going into phosphoric acid next. Let's just hope that it's just the guard going into the phosphoric acid. I've got a bucket of neutralizing solution, which is baking soda water. And is there a good way to do this? I don't know. I should really suspend it. I need to suspend that. I will be right back, Cheyenne. Talk to him and tell him about what you're doing. I'll be right back.
I am going to be making knives out of alligator bone. And I was telling you guys about me stabilizing some of the deer bone. This is actually a copper blade that I finished out, I believe, yesterday. Dyed and stabilized deer leg bone. It is reconstituted stone for the bolster and then pure copper out of for the blade. And yes, it is very sharp. I learned the hard way yesterday. What I'm going to be doing now is probably making a knife out of pure bone. Why? Because I can. Just trying to figure out. If I do it correctly, I can utilize more of the handle material. Actually, screw it, I'll just use that for a handle. Why not? But you figure out which one feels better in the hand and you play with that one. You just have to find the right length, though. So I need to cut that one. If you look, there's actually a channel up in the jawbone of the alligator. So we're going to do that. was going to dye and stabilize these. I already have, I believe, 3 in my blue in the back. But we're going to turn this one into a knife handle. I think that'll work this time. Oops, it might make that shorter. More solid material. Are you ready for them to see what you're doing?
I am back. All right, going ahead and turn it around. Here we go. Okay, so I went in the back and I found some insulated copper wire because I don't want copper in contact with my acidic solution here, and a paintbrush. So let's MacGyver this up. Okay. Those of you who don't know what MacGyver is, you are younger than I am. So I'm just going to suspend this and get this down into the etchant. Let me turn this around. You guys might be able to see it. So now you can see that phosphoric acid reacting with that mild steel guard. And there's a couple points it's not reacting as well, and those still have scale on them. But I'm thinking the phosphoric will most likely eat away at that as well. It won't over etch if I'm cautious about it, like I'm not going to leave it in overnight. But always be very cautious when working with acids. Be extremely cautious when you're working with base, because that can mess you up real good too. So what I'm going to do, I guess Cheyenne's getting ready to, what's she getting ready to do? Your what?
I had my little saw and now I don't know where it's at.
It's probably over there. Not there. It's probably up there with the punches and everything. Okay, so while Cheyenne is finding that,
I took it to the back.
And she's remembering where things are, and you guys have the opportunity to go, hey, you know what I should do right now? I should go and check out Forge Memory Family. Or you're like, no, I'm really not. You also got the opportunity to subscribe, and we always appreciate more subscribers. All right, let's see. I think I've got a 120 right here. And one thing I could do, I could go ahead and clean up my blade, and I could put this into that phosphoric, or maybe in some ferric chloride, a couple of common acids that we use for etching. But I'm thinking I want to make it right. So I'm going to hit all the surfaces I did with an 80. Here we go. I got one spot right there I really want to get clean. But you got to keep it moving so you don't dig a hole. Now go to the other side. Right, and thank you for the subscription. Do I do all my grinding freehand, or do I use a jig at times? I've got a jig in the back I've never used. Most cases, I just do freehand grinding. I make hundreds of knives a year, sometimes more than that. And I've been doing this for, I think, 32 years come September. So went from forging, in-ground forging, which you can actually see a video of that on the Forge and Memory family website, and now I had a couple shops. I went ahead and dismantled one so that we could just focus on this one, and been really happy with the results. Okay, so I am going to want to run this on a Scotch-Brite or surface conditioner. I always say Scotch-Brite.
It feels like a Scotch-Brite.
Yeah, but not at Scotch-Brite prices.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a surface conditioner. Once more. Surface conditioners are nice because they blend everything together. And it helps to blend grind marks and so forth. And it just gets a pretty nice finish, really. And this is about a 50-pound magnet I'm using. We use these a lot when grinding just because it allows for better control, especially when the blade might get a bit warm. It's either a 100 or a 50. Either way. We've used both. It's just kind of a matter of what's available. Now, I can run this further through Scotch-Brite, but I don't think I'm going to. Yeah, this is a Ferrer's rasp. That's what they use on hooves. And I got a nice satin finish to it. Now there's still some hammer marks. The scratches are not competitive. And what that means is they all look pretty similar versus having some deep scratches and some that are lighter and so forth. So what, oh yeah, I guess I've got that garden acid over here. We might check on that. Cheyenne, let me know if you are ready for more video. Now I'm gonna get this away from the acid because I just polished that blade up, and I don't want to mess it up. So here we go. Bring it out, and it's got a nice rustic kind of gunmetal finish. I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna let that set just a little bit longer.
I'm gonna go see if I can find some of my copper.
Cheyenne's gonna look for copper. There's copper in the back in that can in that little cubby hole storage area.
Okay.
All right. So, right now, Cheyenne is going to find some copper. She's wanting to do some copper blades. I'm assuming since her knife is out here that she must have shown that to you guys. And what I'm going to do while she's finding that stuff, I'm going to figure out which one of these knives I'm going to work on next. Well, this one is not fit up all the way by any means. This one definitely needs fit up some more. I really kind of want to work on it. And then I have this big gnarly one that will fit up all the way when driven on. But you know what? A little bit of scale removal right there, a little bit of stock removal is going to go a long way on this one. So that's what I'm thinking is while I'm waiting for that to come back to neutralize, I could also do an experiment. Let's do it. You want to do an experiment? Let's do an experiment. Because I'm thinking I could just put that scale in there, and that might work. Oh, she's back. Okay, so this is a bucket of baking soda water, and that's what I'm going to use to neutralize this. And all I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring this out, let it hang for a moment, try to drip off. And the acid as it's hitting the water is just like going crazy. But now it should be, it's not too bad. I got some bright spots on here, which make me think that, that there's some resist on it. So what I'm going to do, Cheyenne, can you give me a paper towel?
Do you need Windex?
No, just paper towel. I'm going to wipe that down a little bit because, I mean, I've got a little bit here. I'm just going to wipe down this piece. Now, yes, there's oils on my hands that could act as a resist, but I'm just wiping that down a little bit.
David Carpenter said that he was looking at your channel. He loves the lever action shotgun review that you did.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what, I really like that 1887 Cimarron. Okay, now notice that this is getting a little rough here, so I'm assuming that's reacting a bit. So this wire definitely has a short life to it, but going back into the acid, let's turn around here. Okay, it's starting to react a little bit, and when I say a little bit, I mean, okay, there we go. Now it's starting to. The oxide will actually prevent etching if you don't get it off there. So essentially, it's only going to etch so far. That being said, if you leave steel and etchant too long, it will find a way, and by finding a way, I mean eat it all away. Point of least resistance and most reactivity. Okay, Cheyenne, what are you going to do next?
I'm going to be forging a few copper blades.
She's going to be forging a few copper blades. Copper blades, wow, wouldn't that be cool to see for a build? And you can, September 6th and 7th, you can be part of it at the Turtle Island Preserve. You go to the Turtle Island Preserve website, Cheyenne and I, with Robbie Bowman, Forged and Fire fan favorite Robbie Bowman, which I should probably mention we were also on the show, and I was on Master of Arms on Discovery Channel as well. Cheyenne was on Season 9, Episode 5 of Forged and Fire, and I was on Season 4, Episode 2. And you can go down to Turtle Island and make railroad spike knives, horseshoe knives, and something we've done the past couple times that we've been there is actually forging copper. We smelt the copper and bring it in, and then it's forged out. And the challenge is that you should be able to finish it out on a rock when you're done. And we have had guys get down in the stream next to the blacksmith shop and finish out a copper leaf blade. This is more of a single edge type that Cheyenne did as, how fast can I make it and make a knife with a handle, and that's some mountain laurel.
Survivalist.
And just a survivalist type mindset with that. So the copper is really cool. Did you show them your knife?
Oh, the copper one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did earlier.
And then if you take the time, you can really finish them out nice. Now, how does copper hold up compared to steel? It doesn't hold up compared to steel. That's the reason we use steel blades. Even though, a lot of people say, well, what about my ceramic kitchen knife? Well, your ceramic kitchen knife doesn't flex very well, does it? Try it, then buy one of my knives, because you'll break your ceramic kitchen knife. But it's not to say that mine can't be broken by any means, but obsidian and flint are extremely sharp, extremely fine edges. They still have use today, but we don't use those so much. Yeah, well, we don't rely on them as much as we do steel, because steel is easier to work, and for the sweat equity, for the time and effort invested in it, it seems to work the best. Now, at one point in history, copper was a material that early man could work, and we still use today, but not so much as blades. But we are, I would go use the scroll saw real quick, it'd be easier. But we still revisit those primitive times, those primitive skills. And look at the survivalist mindset. And if you didn't have anything else, how would you do it? Bottle glass can be napped into blades and arrowheads. And there's a lot of that around, but someday, you can eventually exhaust the supply. Okay, so while that has been sitting there, boys and girls and whatever your pronouns are, I'm going to go ahead and bring this out because it's had some time to etch those shiny spots down. And had I degreased that, it probably would have worked a lot better. And now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to drop it into my bucket of neutralizing solution. And just because, let's see what happens if we take this with all the scale on it and put that into that phosphoric acid. It starts bubbling pretty quick. Now, I'm assuming that it would take a while for that to really get to where I want it to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go take my Bowie knife here. Remember this one. We're going to take this Bowie knife and I'm going to start cleaning it up on the grinder. And I'm not going to give it too much time in the etch over here. But what I am going to do is I'm going to spend some time cleaning this up, and once I get it cleaned up, then I'm going to go look at the guard and most likely bring it over here, clean it up, and do this again. But it's something that I feel we can do as a reasonable experiment. So first things first, That is some heavy scale. Why? I'm thinking I want to go with the 36. I really want to go with the 36 grit. But I am going to use an 80. And the reason I'm going to use that 80 is because if I already have 36 grit scratches on this, I don't want to put any more on. And when you're doing stock removal, whether it is your final finishing or not, if you don't want heavy scratches, don't start with heavy belts, if that makes sense. Heavy abrasives in general. And I believe Cheyenne is getting ready to do some copper. Holy shit. I thought you would cut that down. Never mind. My language. So 80 grit right here, guys. Still see a lot of hammer marks here. Got that kind of fish scale pattern going on. We go ahead and lay in a bevel here. Guys, there's hammering going on right behind me. You probably want to see Cheyenne more than you do me on this.
are on here, they're going to say, oh, your torch mount on the wall, things like that. Copper you can torch cooler than you can steel. If I allow this to get glowing yellow or red, pretty much how we see steel, it's going to about the same color as my torch. And I can really not deal with that. Make it to where you can see both of us.
probably tang out a bit more if you need. A lot you can do with copper. Pretty forgiving material. Now this is my experiment right here. It did take some of that scale off, and if I continue to soak it, it will do more. But I don't want to wait that long, so I'm going over to the grinder.
Go ahead and turn them to where they can see you too. I'm actually going to torch that thing up just a tiny bit. unlike steel, you are unable to quench this. It is a work hardenable type of metal. All right. And there's the copper knife. Work hardened, forged from, well, I guess I threw it in the water while you guys watching this thing. Cut off that bar. We actually smelted the copper from recycled materials here at the shop. So going from scrap copper to smelted and refined to an ingot that looks similar to this, to that, to this, and then, you wanna grab my blade? To that. All right, they're all yours.
All right, guys. We're coming up on 2 hours on this video. Once more, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And I'm going to show you, while my food's cooling over there, what I've been working on off camera. And this is the finish I got using that phosphoric acid.
Oh, hi, Bone Shaker.
And I'm going to go in and I'm going to end up trimming this, shaping the handle. Majority of the handle is going to be shaped ever before I do the assembly on this. And plan on doing poured pewter butt caps, or pommel rather. So it's going to be a very solid, very stout little knife.
And yes, David Carpenter, that is a very old anvil. I actually got that in on a trade by forging a pure silver blade.
Now this one, I just did the surface conditioner finish, and you know what? I like it. I'm going to end up using that dyed purple heart, dyed and stabilized purple heart. Purple heart dyed purple, of all things. What other color would you dye? It just enhance that purple. And once more, I'm going to come in, I'm going to trim this, shape the handle, and get everything put together. Likely to see a live video.
It kind of gave it a blue hue.
Almost. Likely to see a live video of doing the poured pewter pommels on these. I've got 2 more of these knives to finish out, but when it comes to tacos, tacos come first, people. And I got a pork taco over there with some fried potatoes. It's actually barbecue pork taco, so I'm hungry. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Tell your friends. We'll be back for more live videos. We'll be doing firearm reviews, not on lives, because you can't hold a gun on live video here. I'm sure there's reasons for that. You know, people probably making bad life choices and all that.
File, or a mill file.
Those are actually Farrier's rasp. In the description, you're going to find 2 links. You're going to find one to the Forge Memory family. Check that out. Those are in-depth, step-by-step instruction forging videos. This website has been created by Robbie Bowman of Iron Mountain Metalcraft. He's a Forged and Fire fan favorite. I know there's some other cool stuff coming up very soon. And if you want to contact us about anything, you can go to that Facebook profile. That'll take you to Axon Main Forge and Memory. Feel free to message us. Guys, we'll catch you on the next one. And thank you again. We'll see you in a few. Okay, that was almost